And once the first chip came off, I was like, well, I might as well go full send on this. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kyle. I make videos about my car and my life and stuff. And my friends also have cool cars and lives and stuff, so if any of that interests you, please feel free to subscribe. I've been slacking on the videos as of late. The last video you saw, I got my wheels and tires mounted and all that good stuff. But there were actually some issues that came with that. And the issues led to bigger issues, which inevitably led to damage on my car. It's something that re-emerged from something that happened months ago. So if it's anyone's fault, it's the lady who caused the damage in the first place. But yeah, let me explain. So, again, new wheel and tire setup. Work T7Rs, Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss. The front is completely fine. Look at that. It's very aggressive. It's pretty flush fitment with like maybe a little bit of poke. All in all, I cannot complain. This thing looks gorgeous, ceramic coated and everything by Empire Vinyl. Shout out to Empire Vinyl. Here's a little bit of a better view, maybe with the light coming from this side. These wheels look gorgeous, especially when they're clean and the light hits it with a pearl white paint. It's ridiculous. Super sticky. Look at it. It just makes everything stick to it. Really, really quality summer tires. Really, really quality rims. The issue actually came from this side. Now, initially, after we had it mounted, I parked up here. And I realized that there's a pretty tight gap. Well, it was a 2-finger gap, barely, when I parked here in this driveway. So I was like, huh, that's some pretty tight fitment. I noticed some rubbing marks. I don't know if you can still see them. Right around here, these are the old rubbing marks because the tires would actually rub on the fender. As you guys know, the stock fender comes out to about here. So what I did was I actually went to the stance shop here in Astoria, Queens to get the fender rolled. This side he rolled, no problem, came out real clean. He didn't even roll it all the way down here because he said that you only need to roll about this much to prevent it from rubbing. So he rolled this side perfectly. Then we go to the other side. Now when he rolled my passenger side rear, he pulled it a little bit too just to make sure there's extra clearance. So he said, oh, I'm going to do the same thing for the driver's side. I said, fine, you know, you gotta do, keep it symmetrical and make sure that there's no risk of rubbing in the back because I'm on stock suspension. It's very soft, you know. Before I explain what happens too much, let me just show you what the current state of the car is. There's your nice, beautiful wheel and tire, but if you look up a little bit, you will see the giant paint chip. I tried to fill this in with a touch of paint. Under the fender here, we have more paint chips. Can't really see exactly, but this is actually not completely flared out. And it's actually a little bit bent in. When he rolled it, everything was fine up until about this point here. Anything from here to here, the metal actually folded. Now, if you guys have been following me for long enough, you'll know that a few months ago, a lady actually backed into me because she was illegally parked on a sidewalk, and she literally just backed into my car and pretty much folded this, and like from here to here, she like folded. And today, when I went to go pick my mom up, some dumb lady backed into her. Took the car to the body shop, got it all fixed, straightened out, yada yada yada. Now, because she hit me, the metal has already been compromised. So when Keith at the stand shop rolled it, and we put the pressure on the outside here, it kind of buckled the metal back to how it was during the accident. So it absolutely was not the guy who was rolling my fender's fault. It was, again, the lady's fault who hit my car in the first place. Alright, I'm back inside for this explanation because it is so hot outside. Anyway, I didn't take a before picture. Again, I was so bummed out that this happened. The paint was intact. Nothing was wrong with it. It was really dented. So what I did was I took it to the body shop, and he said, honestly, you're probably better off, instead of having to redo the entire fender, you're probably better off just going to a dent guy. And at this point, I was out of money to fix the car. At this point, I had already spent like $1,600 on the wheels, tires, and all the other accessories that come with it. So I didn't want to spend any more money. So I took the car home and I looked at it, I was like, God, this dent is terrible. Me being the whole do-it-yourself guy, started working on it with some PDR techniques. I looked up some paintless dent repair videos and I was like, I could probably do that. So over the next 3 days, for about 6 hours a day, I started hammering away and like trying to push back the fender to its original state. The first 6 hours were probably the most frustrating because I didn't know if it was gonna work. But when I started seeing progress, I was like, okay, there's a real chance of this. Again, the paint was perfectly fine, but the dent was really bad, especially along the actual line of the fender, because now that it's been rolled, it became a double line of metal. So that I couldn't tap that out, I couldn't do anything. But for the rest of the dent, I managed to get it to a pretty good state. I managed to push it out to look a little bit more even, and I was generally happy with the results. But the only thing that was holding me back, or I would say the thing that was holding me back the most, was that I didn't have any PDR tools. Didn't give up, kept working on it. But one particular night, I think I just got off work, I actually made a makeshift tool out of like, do I have it? I made like a makeshift crowbar. This is actually off of an old guitar stand that I literally just broke in half. I would like jam this under the wheel and use the wheel as a sort of like pivot point, and I would push the fender back out. This actually worked really well. It started pushing the fender out way more than I expected it would. I got leverage, but I didn't account for one thing. It was a little bit later in the night than it was when I was working on it, like when I was working on it the past few days. It was like 8 o'clock, I would say. And by this time, it was like a cool summer night, and I didn't heat the paint, which was my mistake. When I didn't heat the paint and I pushed a little bit too much, a little bit too hard in just the right way, the paint cracked. At the time, it was just a little crack, but the dent still wasn't fixed, so I had to keep hammering at it. And as I kept hammering at it, the crack got worse, and eventually it just chipped off, and chipped off, and chipped off. And once the first chip came off, I was like, well, I might as well go full send on this and start really going hard, so I at least strain out the metal. If the paint isn't perfect, then I can get the metal close to perfect. The more that I hammered away, the worse the chip got, the better the metal got. At some point, you reach what we see now. The metal is pretty much straight, or, you know, it needs to be rolled a little bit to make it perfect, and it pretty much has to go back to the body shop for very minor repairs and a very minor paint job. But the guy who runs the body shop is on vacation. I'm just gonna wait for him to get back and take the car to him once he's back from vacation. But that's pretty much the state of the car you see now. There's a mean paint chip on it. The fender is, from certain angles, looks completely fine, but from certain angles you can tell that it's bent. But I do have a quick fix, just something to distract, something to cover it up. Just watch. We're gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna show you how to turn this dent, body damage, whatever you want to call it, into a power mod. There we go. So there you go. That paint chip, mild dent, has been covered up. Added 5 horsepower to the build, and yeah. So that's the update. That's why I haven't been recording much. It's honestly really hard to shoot a video on your car when you know that there's something about your car that's broken, or, you know, it's annoying. It kills any motivation you have, especially when you put as much time and money into your car as a car guy. Like you guys understand. If you're a car guy, you understand how much money and time and effort you put into your car to keeping it perfect. And something goes wrong that isn't your fault, and that you really had no control over. So that killed my motivation. But that's pretty much where I've been in terms of just video-wise. Now, this is actually a great transition into what I'm about to say next. The last time I got into an accident, the lady hit me and ran. A lot of you guys were like, oh, you know, if you start a GoFundMe, I'd donate $5 or whatever. I don't want that. I don't want handout money, pretty much. But if you guys do want to support me, the #1 way to do it, I would say, would be to watch these videos, to like and comment. But if you want to take it further and you want actual physical merchandise, I would suggest picking up a Climaco decal. If you want one, DM me on Instagram. They're $6 to have sent to you completely, like $6 total. And if you're in the New York area and you want to meet up and pick it up, it's $5. That supports me. That lets me buy more decals, and with whatever extra money I have, I can put back into the car, back into the channel. So for any of you who want to support, feel free to buy a decal. I also have shirts we have them made for you. The main thing that I want to see out there are decals. This is actually another perfect segue into a shout out that I want to give to Nick Reyes in New Jersey, who copped a Climaco decal and put it on his car. He put it on the top left of his rear windshield like I have on mine, and it means a lot, and it's so awesome to see my logo out in the world. I have a few friends who are rocking my Climaco decal, and sometimes a stranger will send me a picture of my decal out in the wild. And it feels good to know that I'm reaching and affecting that many people. So if you guys want your own decal, DM me on Instagram and we'll talk and I'll have it sent out to you. And if you send me a picture of it, I will throw you up on the vlog. I'm also thinking about other ways to feature subscribers on the vlog. I have an idea, I haven't put it into play yet, but it's a little bit of a throwback to when I used to vlog even before I had a car. But yeah, huge shout out to Nick Reyes, thank you for repping, and huge shout out to anyone who has a Climaco decal. I am planning on having like a Climaco call out, in which everyone who has a Climaco decal sends me pictures of the decal on their car, and I'll shout out their car on the vlog, on Instagram, etc, etc. So yeah, that's where I've been. Just a quick update on the WRX.
If I gotta die, I'm going like the greats. I don't plan it, but I live like it's today. Pop a quarter off a quarter and I'm straight. She can't stand me, but she came here anyway. If I gotta die, I'm going like the greats. I don't plan it, but I live like it's today. Pop a quarter off a quarter and I'm straight. She can't stand me, but she came here anyway.